Have you ever stayed quiet to avoid trouble and felt your body pay for it later? Have you stayed silent trying to be mature, but walked away with a heavy chest? Have you swallowed something important and hours later noticed a tight throat, short breath, a crowded mind? This kind of silence doesn't bring peace. It looks organized on the outside, but it creates chaos on the inside. The mind says, "Stay quiet. It's better this way." The body answers with tightness in the chest, a lump in the throat, a fatigue that doesn't make sense. Here's something almost no one ever explained to you. When silence is healthy, the body relaxes. When it's born out of fear, the body goes on alert. Scripture describes this with almost clinical precision. There is a time to be silent and a time to speak. Ecclesiastes 3:7. It doesn't call silence a virtue, it calls it a time. That changes everything. Maybe your problem was never talking too much. Maybe it's staying silent past the right moment. And when you realize that, you begin to see that not every silence comes from faith. Just noticing that already starts to ease the body. Right now, as you listen. You describe yourself as calm, spiritual, patient. You avoid confrontation, you avoid tension, you avoid problems. From the outside, it looks like balance. On the inside, it's constant hypervigilance. You think conflict is the problem, but it isn't. Over time, you learn how to shrink. You don't say what you think. You don't ask for what you need. You don't express what you feel. And you call that maturity. Until something quiet happens, people stop listening to you because you stopped showing yourself. The pain doesn't explode. It settles in. At some point in your story, speaking came at a cost. Maybe you were ignored, harshly corrected, ridiculed, emotionally abandoned. So your mind learned something simple. Staying quiet is safer. That isn't weakness. It's relational learning. You didn't go quiet because you wanted to. You went quiet because you learned that existing was inconvenient. Over time, that silence got noble names: humility, spirituality, wisdom. But underneath it all, it was just well-organized fear. The Bible doesn't say it's better to stay silent. It says there is a time. Silence is not an absolute value, it's internal discernment. When silence becomes a rule, it stops being spiritual and becomes an emotional prison. The body recognizes silence born from fear: a clenched jaw, shallow breathing, a closed throat, a tight stomach that isn't peace. That's the body trying not to exist too much. This part matters. When you stay quiet all the time, the brain doesn't read that as maturity. It reads it as an unresolved, recurring threat. Neurologically, unexpressed emotions don't disappear. They loop, reactivating the body again and again. Psychologically, this creates internal confusion. You feel something, but you've learned to deny what you feel. And by the law of awareness, whatever you perceive but don't integrate returns as a symptom. Tension, irritation with no clear cause, emotional exhaustion, the sense that you're always holding something in. That's why constant silence isn't virtue. It's a learned pattern, and patterns can be retrained, not repressed. This prepares you to understand what Scripture really means by time. Scripture doesn't teach people to disappear. It teaches people to take a wise position. Biblical silence isn't meant to avoid discomfort. It protects truth until the right moment. When silence fragments you, confuses you, or makes you sick inside, It stopped being timing and became fear. Jesus knew how to stay silent, like when he was provoked and refused the trap. But he also knew when silence would be omission, like when he confronted religious leaders who oppressed people in God's name. He didn't react impulsively, but he didn't erase himself to belong. That is mature internal regulation. Psychology is clear. Chronic emotional inhibition increases internal confusion, quiet resentment, difficulty knowing what you feel or want. Speaking at the right time organizes the brain. It's not attack, it's integration. Now something simple. Slowly inhale through your nose. Bring your attention to your throat. Ask silently, what has been stuck here for too long? Don't force an answer. Observe the body. Any sensation is information. The system is reorganizing. Rachel was always the one who understood, always gave in, always came last. She thought that was love until she realized it was fear of losing connection. When Rachel finally spoke with honesty, she didn't lose everyone. She only lost the place where she never truly belonged. Today, many people stay quiet out of fear and call it maturity. But when no one speaks, conflicts don't resolve, boundaries don't adjust, relationships don't grow. Those who stay silent get sick. Those who speak without awareness cause harm. Allowing speech at the right time is what helps people in relationships mature. You don't have to say everything, and you don't have to stay quiet forever. You need to relearn how to feel when silence has turned into escape. That's trained through body awareness, emotional naming, safe spiritual practice. You're not rebellious. You're not weak. You're not less spiritual. You are relearning how to exist with a voice. Lord, teach me the right time. Not the silence that erases me, and not the speech that overwhelms me. Let my voice come from truth, and my silence from peace. Breathe. Stay quiet for a few seconds. Now, a safe silence. When the time comes, you'll know how to speak. If this space helped you breathe a little easier today, it may make sense to stay close. This channel exists for those who need this kind of guided silence.